good evening on this Monday night. Welcome to our UD Spartan football broadcast here on 101.1 The River as we're live at Chalmers Field for tonight's UD football show with head football coach Stan Zwiefel. He's going to be joining us here in just a moment. A lot of exciting things to talk about. The Spartans are still unbeaten at Iowa Conference play after a convincing 44-13 win on the road at Storm Lake, where they defeated the Buena Vista Beavers, going to 5-2 on this football season, and they're going to be playing the crosstown or cross-the-street rivals, whatever you want to call them, the Loras College Duhawks, this Saturday at Chalmers Field, and it should be an exciting atmosphere. Loras in second place, just a game back of the University of Dubuque coming into this ball game. I don't know, I've never said those words as a sportscaster here. First place Dubuque, second place Loras coming into a ball game like this in football, and I think you probably have to go back a ways, and maybe has never happened in the history of this meeting. But we don't have all those records in front of us, but it's going to be a great game. The Key City Clash, great rivalry between these two teams, and it's going to be a great contest coming up, and we'll have it on 101.1 The River, beginning with a pregame show at 12:40 and a 1 o'clock kick time right here from Chalmers Field. You'll also be able to view it on the university's website, dbq.edu, and click on that live online link. We're live there tonight as well here from Chalmers Field, and we've got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get to it. We've got a couple of Spartans we're going to meet in our third segment of the show tonight. Davon Vance Jenkins, one of the running backs on the Spartan squad, and also Derek Shambo from just across the river in Platteville on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to join us, and we'll get a chance to meet them. All on our University of Dubuque football show. We've got Coach Zwiefel standing by next for his thoughts on the win against Buena Vista, and we'll be previewing that Loras game. All coming up here in just a moment. This is the UD football show on 101.1 The River. And we're back live from Chalmers Field on a Monday night before the next football contest here on Chalmers Field. Game number 8 on the schedule for the University of Dubuque Spartans coming up against the Loras College Duhawks. And we've got a lot to talk about with that ball game. But first, we're going to visit about the Spartans' latest victory, going to 4-0 this past Saturday, heading to Storm Lake to do so and beat the Buena Vista Beavers 44-13. Coach, 3 touchdowns on the ground, a couple through the air, and another solid defensive effort turned in for your Spartans.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks, the defense has really done a great job, and I think the whole team has improved week by week. We were talking today, had our first preparation meeting for Loras this afternoon, had a chance to talk to the men and talk a little bit about how we improved in all areas. And I think we're getting better. I don't think we've reached yet as well as we can play, but I think we were trying to get better in all those areas, and the defense continues to play excellent.
Well, as this game started out, gave you a little bit of some heart palpitations, I suppose. 10-0 right out of the box early on, but then you settled in, took the lead over 14-13, blocked field goal as well. That all put that into play. And that was a big field goal block, really changed the course of the game, and then you went up 21-13.
We told our kids that was probably the biggest play in the game made by Oscar White. And Oscar White, we had taken out of that position just to give him a little bit of a breather, but we put him back in. He made a great block. And, Tim, I think I've coached here now probably 68 or 69 games, and I've only kicked off twice when I've won the coin toss, and I chose to kick off at BV because of the wind. And our kickoff guy didn't kick it deep enough. Our kickoff cover team didn't cover well enough. And all of a sudden now, not only do we lose the lead, but we lose the precious wind in that first quarter. My plan was to kick off, 3 and out, get them, score, put them down at a disadvantage, and then really be able to do some things to make them one-dimensional. Well, it didn't turn out that way. They score, and then they get a kick that wasn't an onside kick, but the wind knocked it down. They get it, and it's 10-0.
I've never seen a ball do what that football did on that
I don't
turf.
think our kickoff return guys did either. And, this is the funny thing, and I'm telling you, on Wednesday we had the same kind of wind, so we chose to kick into the wind, and we practiced that exact scenario for 10 minutes on Wednesday. Now, whatever, we didn't come up with that thing, so we're down 10-0, and I'm not nervous. I'm just mad. I'm just flat out mad. And offense responded, make it 10-7. They kick field goal, make it 13-7. We get back ahead, and then after we got back ahead, Tim, our kids really exerted their will on BV. And BV's a really good football team, especially throwing the ball. They've got 2 excellent receivers. We had talked about them last week. Good speed guys. What you want to do is make them one-dimensional. We were able to make them one-dimensional. And as the game progressed, not only were we able to make them one-dimensional on our defense side of the ball, on offense, we were able to run the ball very consistently. Mo Jackson and Davon Vance Jenkins, who you're going to talk to a little bit later here, both effectively ran the ball inside the tackles. And then really that game became kind of one-sided as it moved on. But I was very, very happy about us making another step forward in our run game.
21-13 was a situation at halftime. You knew you were going to have the ball to start the second half, and you took that ball and took it a long drive down the field. I mean, they couldn't punch it in, but then
got a
safety on that, and that seemed to be another momentum boost to propel you on.
We go down there to the half-yard line and don't get it in. I thought Rio had gotten in on the scramble, but he didn't, and then we got a safety. They had the ball for 1 minute and 13 seconds in the third quarter, so that's pretty darn difficult to score points when you only have it a minute. And I think also it really just, as I talked about earlier, about us being able to exert our will on BV, being able to do what we thought we could do on that. And that's important, I think. Tim, we've talked about our kids. You know, we really want to get better, and I think one of the areas we haven't been very good this year is our consistency in our run game. And, of course, it started out with the 2 really good opponents we played. That was very difficult for us to run the ball, but we're back up to where we think we should be now, giving us a little bit more balanced and consistent attack. And then on defense, you know, we've really played well these last 4 games, and even the start of our win streak against Pacific, we made a lot of good stops and played better defense. We've had some new kids playing some back end of our positions. Derek, who you'll talk with later tonight, is a kid that we moved from receiver last spring and has been a starting safety for us. And Derek Trotter, another receiver, has moved to DB, and those have been our 2 starting safeties. So we've had some, guys learning new positions, those kind of things. But we really, I think, are starting to hit our stride here a little bit, and I feel really good about our defense.
You mentioned that third quarter time of possession was just huge. It was about a minute separation, I think, at halftime, if I remember. And then that just continued in the fourth quarter. And when you have your run game being as effective as it has been, I mean, that's going to do that for you.
You know, it really makes a difference, I think, Tim. The wind doesn't really slow down a guy when he's carrying the ball too much. So if you can run the ball in windy conditions, then it allows you to be able to be a little bit more selective when you want to throw and where you want to throw and how you want to throw. But we really did a good job in our offensive line. Coach Nystrom's done an excellent job in our offensive line. And I thought we had a good plan. We got some matchups, and we got some what we call RPOs, Tim. It's a run-pass option where the quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage and he surveys what the defensive alignment is, and he's got a decision to make whether it's a run or a pass and to what side he's going to pass the ball. And when you get ahead and able to run the ball, they got to load the box a little bit and gives you a little bit more options. So that came to fruition for us in that second half.
Yeah, you had 292 yards on the ground. Quarterback Rio Johnson, a very efficient day, 21 of 29, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception real late, but the game was pretty much decided by then. But
interesting in our interception. We have a read route that we do, and our tight end read the coverage wrong, and then Rio compounded that situation by throwing the ball, thinking he could make him right, and it really was just a combination of probably faulty thinking on first our tight end, and then a really bad decision by Rio. But other than that, very efficient, and what he did for the first time, I think, this year for us was able to scramble a little bit for positive yards. I think he had around 40 yards rushing, and when we add that dimension, I think I've told you, Tim, he's got one of the best pocket presence that I've had in a guy I've coaching in 43 years, and those are so hard to teach a kid. He's got a wonderful awareness of where the gaps are, when to slide up and when to slide right or left. He never goes back and allows you to have a big loss. He's always moving that ball forward, and he's got his eyes downfield. And when that happens, you got a chance to make some plays.
And, of course, to allow him to do that, your offensive line just played magnificent.
Fantastic. Did a great job against their rush, and we thought we'd be able to protect. We thought they'd have to blitz us to get some heat, and that's the only way they got some heat, and we were able to take advantage of some man-to-man situations when they did.
Defensive side of the ball, 4 takeaways, all on interceptions, and you win the turnover battle once again this this season.
Yeah, it's been we're plus, I think, 1.5 in the conference per game. And, in games that are close, that'll always be one of the telltale signs about whether you'll win or not. But what I was really most proud of about our football team, I don't know if we could have started worse, Tim. I'm serious. I was like, what is this going on? This is like a nightmare.
I was thinking that in the broadcast booth too.
Absolutely. And the guys were able to recover and get their poise back and do a heck of a job.
Yeah, it really was, like you said, showed a lot of poise and being down 10-0 out of the box and then flipping the switch and then had another chance to go down in that with the blocked field goal. Of course, he would have been on the short end of the score until that happened. So a lot of poise, a lot of heart showed by this Spartan football team to go to 4-0 in Iowa Conference play, 5-2 overall. And Stan, anything before we take the break you want to talk about this win?
I think it was a good win because it's our last really overnight road game. And we've had a tough road schedule. We've been on the road all of our games, one to St. John's, a 6.5-hour bus ride, Portland, a long trip, and then on the road against Simpson, against a very good Simpson team, and we're able to, I think, win a very close game that could have went either way. I often think about how we lost games last year in the fourth quarter as opposed to how we're winning games in the fourth quarter this year. And usually when you're in a tight ball game, if you can make a play or prevent the team from making a play or have a chance to win, and this team seems very resilient and to find a way to make that play, whether it's on the defense or offensive side or the special team part of it.
Big ball game coming up here Saturday at Chalmers Field as the Spartans will host the Loras College Duhawks in what shapes up as a battle for a share of first place in the Iowa Conference. Of course, the Spartans don't want that to happen. They want sole possession when the game's over. And we'll be back and we'll talk about that matchup with Loras College when we return on this Monday night. You're listening to the UD Football Show on 101.1 The River. We're back on a Monday night prior to the Spartans' final game in the month of October as they'll be taking on the Loras College Duhawks this Saturday at Chalmers Field. It's the Key City Clash, so the Key Trophy, which sits in the University of Dubuque's locker room area, that is over here and has been for a few years. But the Duhawks are going to come in a much different team from when they played at Chalmers Field last time. They're 4-3, 3-1 in the Iowa Conference, coming off a big win over Simpson College and what looked like it was a defensive struggle. I didn't think I'd see that out of that game for the first three quarters, but they won it 27-9.
First of all, Tim, hats off to Coach Helminiak and the job those guys have done at Loras this fall. Very impressive. Offensively, they are, really one of the top teams in the country and really one of the talks in the country about how they're throwing the ball, and they're doing it with a freshman quarterback who's having a heck of a year, Nolan Baumhofer, over from Western Dubuque, and a good receiving core. And I think what really sets them apart in their offense is they've got a great back. If you play a light box because you're going to defend the pass, they're going to make you pay for that. So they present an extremely difficult challenge, and they had their best defensive game of the year by far last week against Simpson and played an inspired part. We're really impressed with their defensive front and a very good defensive secondary and linebackers that are very aggressive. They're a good football team, and they're just hitting their stride. Also, they're playing with a great deal of confidence, playing with a great deal of enthusiasm. It'll be a really fun atmosphere. I hope we have a huge crowd to get a chance to see a great small college game. Right now, the two best teams in the Iowa Athletic Conference squaring off 3 blocks apart, so that really, I think, is an exciting part of it. And they're a team that, as I said earlier, just have dramatically improved. Surely it's a result of the coaching and the recruiting that they did. So it's going to be a really challenging contest for us.
Just talking a little bit more about what the Duhawks have accomplished so far this year offensively. They do have the number 1 passing offense in the nation, Division III, 410 yards. The number 4 total offense, 571 yards. Their defense, that's what's been suspect. They shored that up against Simpson, but I believe they're like 250th when you look at the charts there. But they're willing to outscore you. Yeah,
what most impressed me about last week's game is how hard they played defensively. against a Simpson team that scored 24 points against us, and they held them to 9. So they've made great strides there, and I think they've really shored up some of the areas that they weren't playing as well probably early. And, their offense continues just to be, man, oh, man, Tim, they're scary to watch on tape. They are. They can have the ability to score anywhere from and anytime and anywhere in the field. And quarterback shows great poise as a freshman, and the receivers catch the ball, and there seems to be a ton of them running around out there, and they're going to really present some problems. We'll have to play an outstanding game to play with them. And they're also, as I've mentioned, I think the thing that I've seen from game 1 to game 7 as I've watched the tape is their confidence seems to be growing every game. And, when they did not have a great year last year, and they've got that turned around, and I think that speaks a ton about the confidence that players are playing with.
Other thing Loris has really been good at is you look at all their wins, and, you got to play them all 4 quarters.
Ooh,
because
baby.
The fourth quarter is when they seem to come alive, and, they're just a few plays from being 1-3 in the league, and they've turned that in quite possibly 4-0, but they come in 3-1.
I would say they're probably a couple plays away from being 7-0 too. They have shown remarkable ability to score in the fourth quarter. I mean, remarkable, Tim. About 38% of their points being scored is in the fourth quarter. And in the first and third quarters, they don't seem to start as fast as you'd expect or suspect with that kind of throw game. But in the fourth quarter, my, oh, my, you better snap on your helmet and stay playing, because they've overcome being deficits at 21 and 14 points and done it so fast. And I think that's part of their offense that you're worried about, is they can score, like I said, at almost any time and anywhere in the field. So we'll have to play very sound coverage. We'll have to get a rush. Now, I'll say this, Tim. Boy, our secondary is good, and they've been playing well. And we feel like we've got a secondary that can match up with anybody. We've prepared by playing St. John's and Platteville, who also can throw the ball and are very talented people. So we think we've played that schedule, so we're ready to play a game like this. And we're really excited about the challenge that Loris brings and the quality of football team that they're bringing to our place. And this is great for the city of Dubuque, and it's great for small college football. And we're excited to host him and hope we can give him a great game.
Of course, Key City Clash is always a great atmosphere, too, because the universities are giving back to their community with gate proceeds. They decided to do that when they put the Key Trophy up for grabs, and there will be more details on that as the week does go on. When you look at Loris defensively, where have teams been able to hurt them badly?
I think they initially they probably were giving up a little bit too much yards passing, and they had a great contest against Simpson in that. And I'm really, as I said, I'm very impressed with their defense. Play hard, run well. I think they've improved each game as they've went along. So, if you'd ask me, what are we going to do? It's what we do every week. We're going to run it, we're going to pass it, we're going to try to be as balanced as we can. We're going to try to make sure that we can continue to move first downs. But I think more than anything else in this game, boy, you'd like to possess the ball a little bit more, Tim, because you'd like to keep it away from. And I kind of told our staff, it reminds me of like when you play Luther. They're such a different, unique offense that they present those problems when you let them on the field. So the more times you can limit them from being on the field, I think the better chance you have. Now, that's easier said than done. And like anything else, obviously, when you get on the field defensively, you'd like to get some 3-and-outs. That's probably the best answer to beating any team offensively, is try to limit their first downs, because if you can, it's dang tough to get in a rhythm. But they are a good football team. I think they might be the best football team we've played, with the exception of the 2 first teams we played in St. John's and Platteville. So they're going to bring their style of football, which is unique and creates problems, and we're going to bring our style of football, which we hope is also going to create some problems for them. But it'll be a heck of a game, Tim. I really think it's going to be a game that, who knows, maybe it's 50-48, maybe it's 8-7. It'll be interesting to see how that thing shakes down.
Obviously, a huge game as far as Iowa Conference implications go as well.
You can put yourself, again, it's not the game of the year. There's still 2 games left, but if you put yourself and win this game, you're 5-0 with 2 games to go, and you got tiebreakers with everybody in the league with the exception of Central. So what you do is you take another step forward. And that being said, as I told our guys today, it's another game. It's the most important game because it's a game on our schedule that we're playing next. But you have to be able to get better in your fundamentals. You have to get better in your techniques, and I think we have, Tim, and I feel good about that part. Now we'll see how this thing shakes out Saturday. They'll come with a great deal of emotion, and they'll come with a great deal of enthusiasm, and I hope our team meets those kind of emotional things. But I always tell our guys, emotion doesn't last forever, my friends. It lasts a very short period of time, and the kids that are able to play the most plays at the highest level usually is the team that wins.
With a win, you'd get the 6th win in a row this season. That hasn't happened around here since 1979. Don Birmingham's 9-1 team, so that's a little
Are you jinxing
extra
me,
carrot
Tim?
out there.
God dang it.
No. I'm just giving facts. I'm one of those media guys. You know us. We feel like we're really on a nice run. We really do. Now, that could end at any time, as we all know. What you feel like when you're winning is it breeds confidence, just like what I talked about in Loris. So when you're confident, you go out and perform. Now, we can play at a high speed, and we'll have to play at high speed against this offense. We really will, and against their defense. You got to play at a fast tempo. If we can do that, we're going to stand a chance against anybody. Coach, we appreciate your time this evening, and best of luck as you get ready for the Loris Duhawks here this week. We'll see you on Saturday, and thanks again for joining us here on the UD Football Show tonight.
Be a heck of a lot of fun, Tim. Thanks.
It is going to be a lot of fun as the Spartans and the Duhawks get ready to collide on Saturday. You can hear it right here on 101.1 The River, 1240 pregame, 1 o'clock with the kickoff. And when we return on the UD Football Show, we're going to meet players Davon Vance-Jenkins and Derek Shambo coming up here on 101.1 The River. And we're back here on this Monday night here on the UD Football Show, and this is the segment where we get a chance to meet a couple of the Spartan players that come up to join us on Monday nights of game week. And the first one out of the box to join us here is Derek Shambo, a sophomore defensive back from Platteville. And Derek, good to have you tonight on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you guys are off to a fantastic start. You want to keep it going, but your thoughts on the season so far?
It's definitely going how you want your season to go, but you just got to take it week by week and keep doing what we've done in the past to get us into this position.
Talk about how the defense has really improved from your viewpoint back there as a defensive back as the season's gone along.
I feel like we had a good camp. It was a good feeling going into the first week, and we played some tough opponents to start off the year, which have made us better. And it makes a huge difference when you can count on the guy next to you to do his job, and you can just play as one big whole unit and shut teams down.
Talk about that defensive backfield that you guys have. I mean, it's pretty potent. You guys have some playmakers back there.
Yeah, it helps having the leadership of Oscar White. He's been through it, being a senior, so it helps looking up to somebody that can help you improve your game. But we're just playing with a ton of confidence and, trust each other, so we're able to play well in games.
What's the biggest thing for you? You're a freshman, just got on campus last year, and now you're a sophomore. A lot of guys say the game slows down a little bit more at the college level. Is that what you experienced, or what's changed for you?
Yeah, definitely getting on campus last year was a totally different speed, but spring ball helps a lot in the college level, so you can pick up some things and get used to that speed more where it's not the pressure of going into a season. So spring ball made a huge difference, and then coming into fall camp this year, you have that knowledge and that ability, so you're able to play at a higher level.
Derek, what brought you to the University of Dubuque? Why play at UD?
I don't know. Great campus, great facilities, for a D3 level. It's incredible. We have indoor practice facility and weight rooms and locker rooms like that, and it just looked intriguing and decided to come here.
It's only 20 miles home, so you can go have a home-cooked meal if you want once in a while, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Well, that makes it an extra bonus. I know you guys are looking forward to the rest of this season. You guys have the bar obviously set pretty high for the goals you've put out there.
Yeah, this is right where we want to be, and now we just got to finish the season the right way and not get ahead of ourselves, just take it week by week.
Derek, it's been a pleasure meeting you on the UD Football Show tonight. Best of luck to you and the Spartan defense against that high-powered offense that Loris is going to bring over here. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and we'll look forward to it. Thanks for joining us here this evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm going to have you pass off the headsets to running back Davon Vance-Jenkins. He's going to come on the set here and talk with us. jump up there, Dave, on and put those on. You can hear me okay, can't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show here tonight.
No problem.
Well, we're going to talk about the offensive side of the ball, and one of the big differences for the Spartans as the season's gone along is the run game, and
Yes.
you got to feel really good about the run game right now. Talk about how you guys have improved through the season.
It's just the coaching staff. The coaching staff are working pretty hard with the O-line, and I've been feeding off the O-line. The O-line is pretty. They believe in the running back, so you just gotta pound the ball.
You got to take care of those
Yes,
guys,
sir.
don't you?
Yes, sir.
You buy them a steak dinner once in a while? Or?
We're thinking about it. Me and Mo Jackson are thinking about it. We're thinking about it.
Of course, I know how you college guys are. You're going to probably have to chip in together to feed that crew. But, yeah, it has been impressive. But, talk about your style of run is, compared to Mo. I mean, you guys bring a different type, and that really makes it tough on defenses.
Exactly. Tie him down, run Mo Jackson just straight through the middle, like pound the ball, and then get me in there, get a little shifty, and bring him down the field, and just have Mo Jackson just pound the ball and touchdown. So,
offensively, you guys have made improvements, as a group. And where would you say the biggest improvements have come as you look at it?
I would have to say the run game. The run game, obviously. Last year we could have ran the ball, but we just weren't really effective. Like we were losing games, and we just went down. So now we're having more confidence, in the run game. So.
How has it been adapting with you get a new quarterback year after year? You had a new quarterback last year, another one this year, and Rio's really settling in, isn't he?
Yes, Rio's feeling pretty more confident now. I can feel that now. He's telling me, which way to go if he wants to run. He's telling me to block from right there. So he's feeling pretty more confident. I believe in him.
Now, you're from Janesville, Wisconsin, right?
Janesville, Wisconsin, yes.
What brought you to the University of Dubuque? What was the big sell for you?
Coach Zwiefel knows most of my high school coaches back there, so he put in the good word for me. So me and Coach Z have a good connection. So.
Well, I know he's glad to have you here at the University of Dubuque, and Spartan fans are too. That run game really coming around, and look forward to the ball game coming up on Saturday, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Davon Vance Jenkins joining us tonight here on our UD football show. Derek Shambo before that. And that's all the time we got for tonight's program, but don't miss the ball game coming up on Saturday as the Loris Duhawks come to Chalmers Field here, and pregame at 12:40, kickoff at 1 o'clock. You can catch it right here on the radio on 101.1 The River, or we're live online with it as well at dbq.edu with the video stream as well. So that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in for the UD Football Show. I'm Tim Larry.